And you know, everybody can hear you right now, right?
Right now?
Yeah.
Hi! Hello. I'm gonna be serious and also.
I'm dead serious. Right at go, or else they're gonna hear you start hearing me yell at you.
Aw, okay. Anais, come on! Where's your water bottle? Come on, Anais.
Okay.
Hey! Yes, it's cool. Here's your bottle. Dad.
Take her.
Come on.
Close the door.
Bye.
See ya.
Watch. We'll see. Hi, everyone. We're going to give just a few more minutes for everyone to get on, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
I have a question. I was wondering, can I start coming in and pick up the packets instead of having to do them online?
You can, but we're in Modesto. We're not in Tracy.
That's fine. I'll come to Modesto.
Okay, yeah. Just text Miss Jen and let her know, and we'll have one ready for you. So, what are you thinking of tomorrow? Is that what you're thinking of tomorrow?
Yeah, because I'm free on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I can come tomorrow and pick it up. Yeah,
we can have them ready for you. Probably Tuesdays would be a better day for us because Mondays we do time and everything. But if you can come on Tuesday, we can have them ready for you on Tuesday. Not a problem.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, I'm with Jordan Fitzpatrick right now. I'm trying to help her get her Zoom set up right now for her first day. Just so you know, she's with me. I can't hear her for some reason.
And who was talking about Jordan?
Sorry, Haley Funk.
Haley, okay. So, and you said it was Jordan?
Jordan Fitzpatrick. Her computer's just giving us a little bit of trouble today.
Yes, my grandchildren couldn't even get on their school today. Their websites were crashing.
Yeah, hers is saying that our...
All right, good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about coloring, tinting hair, virgin tint, actually. And this is a virgin tint to darken gray hair, or to darken anyone's hair. Doesn't have to be gray. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the step-by-step procedure in detail, and I'm going to pull up the whiteboard and I'll be writing some the procedure out for you so that way you can see it too. So make this full screen. There we go. All right, so this is going to be our virgin. I was going to write tint to darken. Okay, it's really hard to write on this, by the way. So for your materials, right, what are you going to need for materials? So the first thing you're going to need is color. You're going to need towels. You're also going to need your drape, your Sanex strip, also, let's see, clips, combs, tint bowl, tint brush, what else do we need? Protective cream. Drape, Sanex, clips, combs, tint brush, tint bowl, protective cream. You may need a wide tooth comb. That's just going to help you be able to comb through all of that. You'll need hand sanitizer. So you're also going to need a soiled container. What?
Do you know if Cosmoprof's open?
I don't know. You'll have to call.
They are open.
Okay.
The soil containers for you to put your implements and your combs and brushes and things like that in when you're done, or if you drop one on the floor, let's say you're going to need to pick that up and put it into a soil container, get a clean one. That's what our soil container's for. Oh, you're also going to need gloves. And you may want to wear a, apron or a smock, or a jacket or something to protect your clothing. We're just going to say apron because it's a little easier. I got towels, drape, Sanex, clips, combs, timbers, timbals, protective cream, wide tooth comb. Oh, a water bottle, like a spray bottle. Can anyone think of anything else? That we may need for supplies?
Barrier cream.
Yeah, we got that as protective cream. So that would work with barrier cream. Same word, means the same thing. So yeah, we do definitely need that. We may need a trash next to us. Oh, one thing that we're going to need is a record card. We definitely are going to need a record card for that. So that.
Record card.
What? You're breaking up. A record card could be anything from like a pre-made record card, or you could use like an index card. You could make a record card of it, an index card. If you go to some of the, like online or to some of the supply places, they have client record cards that are already, made for you, and you just fill in the blanks, or you can make your own. But remember, you have to have your contact information and all of your formulation written down, date, service done, processing times, and price.
Is this what we're gonna need for this week?
As far as the list in your text message ahead of time, you won't need all of this. This is for if you have a client coming in.
Oh, okay.
Text messages are the things that you will need, yes, to actually do it on a doll. And it's probably going to make way more sense for the second half when we actually set up the doll and show you how to do it. It'll probably make way more sense, but we're just going to get our stuff written down so that way we have it for when we get ready to work.
So all we need is the stuff that's on the little the picture that got sent to us.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So any questions on materials? No? Okay. So now let's go to the actual procedure. All right.
Don't we need foil too?
You will. You can use any household foil. It's fine. You just need some, little pieces of it. You don't need to go out and get a big box of foil. Any household foil will do. Okay. So the very first thing that you want to do when you get ready to start this procedure is you want to wash your hands or sanitize your hands, right? Wash your hands with soap and water or sanitize your hands. So I'm going to say that the first thing that we want to do is sanitize hands. Okay. The second thing that we want to do is make sure that we have all materials and supplies ready, so materials and supplies. Right? So if your client's sitting in the chair and you have to get supplies and get things ready, just let them know, hey, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to get everything together, and make sure that you have everything together. If a PD test was done, which it should have been, right? Unless manufacturers say not to, the PD test, the predisposition test, or the patch test. You want to make sure that you check that and it is recorded on the record card that it was either negative or positive. Okay. The next thing that you want to do is what? What do you think the next thing to do would be? Any idea? Okay. Well, we're going to drape our client next.
Section. Oh, yeah, drip the client. Yeah, totally.
So when we're draping this client, we're going to double drape, right? We're going to put a towel underneath, the drape on, a towel on the top, the Sanic strip underneath that first. We are going to definitely drape our client. After we finish draping our client, the next thing that we need to do is sanitize our hands. Now that we've draped our client and we've sanitized our hands, we are going to check the scalp.
Miss Connie,
Yes.
can you put your gloves on prior to everything, or do you have to wait till the step comes up?
You can. There's, sometimes gloves like in the fingertip, they don't always fit correctly. So when it comes to putting on the protective cream and doing a couple other things, it's hard, in my opinion, to do it with gloves on, especially because they don't fit and it gets messy. If you have gloves that fit really well, then yeah, you can. I mean, there's no rules that say, you don't have to, but yeah, you can put your gloves on. But if you wear gloves through the whole procedure, you still have to sanitize the gloves as if they were your hands. So these steps that say sanitize hands, if you're wearing gloves, you still have to sanitize your gloves. Okay. So at this point in time, we want to check the scalp. We want to check that scalp, make sure that there's no cuts, abrasions, or disorders, or anything that's making us not able to do the service. So a little abbreviation for cuts, abrasions, and disorders is CADS. Okay, cuts, abrasions, and disorders. That's what we're checking for, our CADS for that. Once we do a thorough analysis of checking the scalp, during that time as we're checking the scalp, we're also analyzing the hair. We're checking for density, porosity, texture. We're just getting an overall feel of what their hair is like during this time. Okay, so once we check their scalp, and we check the hair condition. You could put that on a record card if you even feel like doing that, but it's, you know, you don't have to do that, but you can. So once we get all that checked, then we are going to section the hair. And usually we do it in 4s. Unless the hair is really short or we're having a difficulty sectioning the hair, then we can do 10 if we need to. But generally it's a 4-section haircut, which would be from forehead to nape and from side to side. And we'll demo that also when we're getting into the whole demonstration here. So
If I'm sorry, when you section the hair, if the hair is really thick and 4s won't cut it, it's okay to section it to like 6 or 9s?
Yeah, 10, however many you need, short, thick, thin, whatever the case is. Yeah, if it's too much hair or it's more than what you can fit into one clip, you can use many different sections. Yes. Okay. So now after we section the hair into 4s, now we're going to apply our protective cream. Our protective cream, our barrier cream. I was going to put PC for protective cream, barrier cream, base cream. They all kind of mean the same, but we're going to apply that to the hair. Once we get that applied, now this is where we'll put our gloves on. Okay, this is where we put our gloves on. Now, if you're wearing gloves, this is where you're going to sanitize your hands. Okay, so if you already have gloves on, this is where you're going to sanitize your hands. If you don't have gloves on, this is where you're going to put them on. Because one of the rules and regulations is anytime you touch a chemical, you need to be wearing gloves. So this is where we're going to put our gloves on, because now we're getting ready to mix up our chemical. You never, and you guys remember this, you never, ever, 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 and ever a few more times on that, mix a chemical until you're ready to apply it. Okay, once you apply that chemical, or once you mix that chemical, once you mix that chemical, it's starting that oxidation process in the bowl. If your color is mixed and it's sitting in the bowl and you haven't done any of these steps 1 through 8 yet, that chemical is processing in that bowl. So you could get an undesirable result. So we want to make sure that we do not mix our chemical until we are ready to use it. So once we put our gloves on, we're ready to mix our chemical. So this is where you tell your client, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the color. So now we're going to get the color. So now on 10, we're ready to start our application. We have our gloves on, our client has protective cream, they're all sectioned up, they're all draped properly, we've sanitized in every place that's necessary. We're getting ready to apply this color. So how do you apply it? So does anyone remember where we start if we're going darker?
Back of the nape.
No, that's where hair is the darkest. So hair is usually lighter around the front. Okay, so we're either going to start on the front or the left side, right? So usually a front section. So we're going to start in front. Okay, now remember, the hair is grayer around the hairline. So remember when you're putting your protective cream on, that you're not touching any of that protective cream on the actual hair itself, because that's creating a barrier. If you touch the hair, what is it doing? It's putting that barrier between the hair, the color and the hair. So the color won't take if you're getting protective cream on the hair. So you have to be real careful around the hairline when you're applying that to make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, so we're going to start in front. we're going to using 1/4, sorry, I meant quarter. 1/4 inch horizontal sections. Using 1/4 inch horizontal sections, we're going to apply from, okay, scalp to porous ends. So porous ends are usually, depending on the length of the hair, anywhere from like 1 to 3 inches on average. Okay, so for our demonstration purposes, we're going to say it's 1 inch. So up to porous ends, so 1 inch. So what that means is from the scalp, the top of the head where the scalp is, down to, like if this is your piece of hair right here, when you're applying this, you're going to apply it from the scalp. Ooh, I need a touch up. All the way down to 1 inch from the ends. Okay, and you're going to thoroughly saturate that hair when you do that. So you go from the front, you'll apply it using those 1/4 inch subpartings or subsections. Make sure that you thoroughly saturate it for proper coverage. When you get done with that front section, what you want to do is go back and do the other front section and just move around the head, doing the same thing. You're doing it the same way all the way around the whole head. Once you finish your application, what you want to do to porous ends, whole head. So once you finish with that application, what you want to do is go back to the very beginning and you want to check it, like go through each section and make sure that it's thoroughly saturated, right? Because now this color is sitting on the head. It's starting to oxidize. It's starting to change color. Hopefully you can get this done in about 15 minutes, and you will with practice. It may take you a little bit longer now, but with practice, you'll be able to get the whole head done in about 15 minutes. Once you get done with it now, you go back to the front, starting to change color, and you check it. You make sure you go through the whole head and you make sure that you have great saturation. So we're going to check for saturation. Because believe me, sometimes you think you have it on the head, got it all, no problem. And once it starts to oxidize and you go back and you look, there's almost like holes in the application. And that's what we don't want to see. Not at all, right, Miss Sue? Okay, so now you check for saturation. You wait about 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you do it again. During this time, you're asking your client, if everything feels fine, because if she says it's burning or he says it's burning, if your client says that it's itchy, because itchy, remember, all that is a sign of a reaction. So we want to make sure that we get it off of them if they have any of these problems. In the beginning, when you first apply it, it's pretty normal to feel like a little, tickle, tingle kind of a feeling. But if it persists or it gets worse, then, you want to wash it off. I don't know if I want to say it's normal to feel that, but there's quite a few people who say they feel a little bit in the beginning and then it goes away. So, yeah, we don't want anything that's going to feel like bad or rough on their hair. So once that is completely saturated, during that time when you're checking for your saturation, make sure that the hairline is covered, especially like the temple area or the this area right here, the sideburn area, temple area or sideburn area. We really want to make sure that those areas are covered. Do not let the color dry. If it dries, it's going to be kind of hard to, well, it won't cover. It'll stop processing when it dries. So make sure. Usually color processes for 30 to 45 minutes. So about the last 10 to 15 minutes. So let's say we have our client up to 30 minutes now. So we're going to say the last, what number was I on? 11. Okay. So the last 15 minutes, we're going to apply to ends.
That's still step 11?
Yeah, I just looked at that and I didn't even write it down. But yes, so the last 15 minutes, we're going to apply it to ends. Okay, now you can take a wide tooth comb and comb through that. It'll go to the ends, or you can take your brush and you can go back through and you can apply it to the ends. But we want to make sure that within about the last 15 minutes, we get it applied to the ends. Okay, so once it is completely timed out, which is, let's say 30 to 45 minutes, because that's what most hair color is. Once it is completely timed out after 45 minutes, we're going to shampoo the hair. So what you want to do is when the client goes to get out of the chair, you want to make sure that you turn the chair. Turn the chair so that they can get out easily. Lock the chair so it doesn't spin. Okay. And remember, anytime a client gets in and out of your chair, you should have it locked so that it doesn't spin. Because, you know, if it spins and they slip, I mean, it takes a risk of falling. And if your client's not too steady, it could be a potential hazard. So we want to make sure that we're always keeping safety, health and safety, always, always right there in the front of our mind. So we want to turn the chair, we want to lock the chair. Okay, then we want to go to the shampoo bowl. Okay, so proceed to shampoo bowl. Okay. So sometimes getting that hairline thoroughly saturated and really covered good with hair color can lead to having a little bit of a stain along the hairline, especially in the darker colors. They'll show up more. So what we want to do before we even turn any water on the hair is we want to get a little bit of shampoo on our fingers. So we're going to get some shampoo on our fingertips. I usually use like my first two fingers, like these fingers right here, and I just put some shampoo like on the tips here. I'll hold it like that and just put some shampoo on the tips of my fingers. So we're going to put shampoo on fingertips. And then we're going to, using small circles, we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to work the shampoo into the hairline using small circles. We're going to work shampoo. Along your hairline. To kind of loosen up color and help prevent staining. Because it can stain a little bit, and this just helps remove some of that. So it's going to help prevent the staining around the hairline. Looks like I'm a kindergartner writing even worse than I do on a whiteboard. So yeah, we're just going to kind of work it around little circles all the way around that hairline, and then we're going to rinse and shampoo the hair. So we're going to rinse now. You want to rinse as much of the color out as possible before you shampoo it. You want to make sure that that water temperature is comfortable for your client. Not too hot, not too cold. You know, remember sometimes when you feel water on your fingers, it feels a lot different than what it does on someone's scalp. So we really want to make sure that it is rinsed off as much as we can. Okay, after we rinse it, then we want to shampoo it. After we shampoo once, then we're going to rinse, and then we're going to shampoo again. Okay, so we rinse, we shampoo, we rinse, we shampoo, and then we rinse that off. Sometimes, depending on the color, it might be necessary to shampoo again. You know, it just really depends. You want that water to run clear. You don't want to see any color rinsing out of that hair when you rinse it out. So you want the water to run clear. Make a little note of that. Water to run clear. Okay, make sure that that water is running clear. So if you just got to keep rinsing and rinsing or add another shampoo, do it. Okay. So once you finish with all of this now, we want to bring that hair down to a normal pH, or as close to a normal pH as we're going to get. Because remember, hair color has an alkaline pH, our hair is acid. So they make these products that are called, they're like porosity, or not porosity, pH equalizers. So for an example, Scruples makes one called No H2O2. Joico makes one that is either cuticle sealer or chemical enhancer. I don't remember the name of it, but every color line will make one. Wella has a post-color treatment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, wait, what number was I on? 15. So now we're going to use our pH normalizer, sometimes known as a post-color treatment.
Miss Connie, on the break, can you go back to step 14? I didn't finish copying that all the way, like on the break or something.
Okay. Yeah. Just remind me if I forget. So we want to make sure that we go back to our post-color treatment. We want to bring that hair back down to our natural pH. Sometimes we need to put a conditioner on after this. Sometimes it conditions the hair out. So the next step would be, and these usually stay on 3 to 5 minutes. So 3 to 5 minutes at the shampoo bowl are generally what the directions say on these products, to leave them on for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so now you can condition if necessary. Yeah, then you want to rinse that. And after you rinse that, now you're ready to go back to your station, right? So you want to towel, you get your towel and towel dry your client's hair at the shampoo bowl, because we don't want them dripping a trail of water all the way back to your station, because it happens a lot. Just remember, if you leave that hair out and it's dripping all the way back to your station, you have a trail. You have to clean that trail. You leave that trail of water on the floor, or any water on the floor, it's a safety hazard. That's a fine. Leaving standing water on the floor or any drips of water is a fine. So we want to make sure that we towel dry the hair really well. So we're going to towel dry. At the point of towel drying this hair, you could ask your client to go back to the shampoo bowl, or you could have your client sit there, but you want to disinfect and clean and dry that shampoo bowl and the chair that the client has been sitting in. So sometimes, you can walk them back to your chair, make sure that it's locked when they sit down, spin them around, so that they don't fall, and tell them, I will be right back. I need to go clean my shampoo bowl. So you just leave them sitting in your chair, and you go back and, oh, that's 19. Disinfect, shampoo bowl.
Is that part of 18 or 19?
That's 19, sorry. Disinfect your shampoo bowl and your chair, the shampoo chair, okay? So it's to your advantage to have a disinfectant spray at the shampoo bowl so that you can just, spray it down and wipe it down when you're completely done using it, and then it's ready for the next person to use, right? We want to keep it nice and clean. Always disinfected, always. Here, let me make that 19. Okay, so once you get that all clean, right, you're going to clean the hair out of the trap. You're going to make sure it's dried, ready for the next person. There's no water on the floor. Everything is nice and disinfected. Even the shampoo, like you use the pump and you pump the shampoo out into your hand, and the conditioner, you want to make sure that you disinfect those bottles also. So let's put that on there. And shampoo bottles. Shampoo, conditioner, post-color treatments, whatever you're using. You want to make sure that you wipe those down with disinfectant spray also. Okay. So now you can go back to your client at your station. You're going to turn around, you're going to walk back to the station where your client's at, and we are going to finish our service. Whether you're doing a haircut, a blow dry, you just towel dry it and comb it out and they leave. Whatever it is that they want to have done, this is what you're going to do at this point in time. So when your client goes to get up again to leave, remember you have to turn the chair and lock it so that they can get out of the chair, walk with them to the front desk. This is where you say, hey, do you want to pre-book? Do you need any products today? If you have any questions, concerns, comments, shoot me a text. Thanks for coming in, call me next time you need an appointment if they don't want to pre-book. This is where you just like say, see you later, bye. So that's after the service is finished. Then once that's all done and you come back, you want to clean up. Again, discarding, anything that needs to go in the trash, throw it in the trash. Sanitize and disinfect your station, chair, bottom of the chair, sweep the floor around it, put all your dirty towels and drapes either in a container that's closed for towels and drapes or in the washing machine, whatever you have, but you want to clean up on that. And then the next thing that you want to do, this is 22. Let's do this, 22. No, that looks terrible. Let's erase that. So number 22 is you want to fill out your client record card. Okay. So those are the things that we want to do. Always do your client record card when you're done, because you don't know how many times I'm gonna go, oh, I'll do it later, and then I forget. So we want to make sure that we do that at the very end. Let's put in your combs and brushes too in your soil containers. So if you need to wash things afterwards, then that's what you're going to go ahead and do. So is there any questions on how to do this? Okay, Sue, I might need your help to hold this while I do it, because I don't know how I'm going to get the camera in the right spot. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, Jen's here. She can do it. Okay, and we're back. So, can you hear me okay? Thumbs up? Okay. So now, hand sanitizer, right? I don't want to touch the hand sanitizer. I just want to push some in my hand.
Did you already see these chats?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, I didn't see the last
And it was a student saying that they had to leave at 12:30.
So, Sanex strip. Goes around the neck. Now this hair is in my way, right? So I can clip this hair out of my way to get my client draped. So we're going from the front. We're tucking it. We are not tying it, we're tucking it. Okay. Taking my my towel, long ways, coming around the back. I have no way to secure this on this doll head. So I'm going to get a little creative here. Gonna make it big enough. Okay. So yeah, you would not do this with a person, but I'm gonna put a clip right here to hold my towel.
Again, you wouldn't do that on a real person, you guys.
Their necks would be bigger. I'm gonna take my drape, place this around. Oop, that actually fit. And now I can take my second towel and place it over, and I'm gonna clip it again, just to hold it.
This would be considered a double drape. So you have a Sanex strip, 2 towels, and your drape. And on the type of drape that you would use would be a chemical drape, so something that is plasticky, so it would protect your client.
Waterproof.
Waterproof, yeah.
So now I'm going to, where's your head? Just kind of analyze, make sure this is good for me to go.
So at this time, she would be looking for like any cuts or anything on the scalp. She'd be feeling the texture of her hair with her hand. She would be feeling the porosity of her hair with her hand. She's taking all that into consideration while she's just looking at the scalp.
Sanitize my hands, between the fingers, backs of the hands, over the thumbs. Okay.
You notice how too, real quick, she's also including her wrists. When she was hand sanitizing, that's important to do, especially for you barbers.
Oh yeah, getting that habit.
Okay, so I would start getting into the habit when you're sanitizing your hands, you make sure that you include your wrists.
Now I want to section into the fours. Now when you go to section, do not take the comb like this and come back on the head like that and scrape their scalp up while you're trying to section their hair with a comb. Okay, none of this. I don't want to see any of this. But that you're just scratching their scalp, which could make the color potentially have a bad reaction. So what you want to do when you go to section is lay it flat on the head. Use your finger up here on the end like this, right? Lay it flat and then come back and just come to the crown and pull it apart. Okay, you always want to make sure that you pull it apart. I'm not even straight, am I? I could tell after that part. Right down the center to the crown and separate the parting as you go. From the crown now, I'm going to put my finger behind my ear, touch the top of the ear and the back, and I'm going to lay the comb flat again and come down from the scalp and separate that. Pulling one side forward, one side back. I'm going to gather this section up, twist it, and clip it. This is section 1. The reason I put my finger there is because no matter where my other hand is, it's always going to find my finger. I can put my finger over here, my other hand will find my finger. My other hand always finds my finger. So it just makes it easier to section. So again, on this side, I always kick these stings.
The legs go far.
Put my finger on the back of the ear. Start at the top here. Kind of want to go in the same spot. Try to make it even with the same spot on the other side. Check behind your ears. Make sure you're pretty close to having the same amount of hair also behind each ear. Twist that up. Clip it up. Okay, so now for the back. I can do this without tripping over this thing.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So I start at the crown. I'm just going to come down a couple inches and separate that. It's easier. Okay. Lay my comb flat, Come down a couple inches more, separate that.
I too put my finger in the nape and follow my finger down and connect it.
Now, if this hair was too short, I would want to follow the same general 4 partings, right? Ear to ear, forehead to back, but I could subdivide these into maybe 3 sections if I needed to, or 4 sections, or however many sections that I'm gonna need. And this hair's short, see the bottom's falling out. So we're just gonna say that on the side, so I'm not, my back's not in the camera. Actually, I did yesterday. I did it yesterday. Last night. Okay, so now that I have that done, sanitize my hands. And now I'm going to do protective cream. So I don't want to touch the bottle tip to my fingers. Just want to get some out.
Oh,
I know, I thought the whole thing was going to come out. Hasn't been used for a while. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger. All right, see a little bit on my finger. And try that for me. This, I'll start back. I'll start back. And I want to go along the hairline. So I just want to run some protective cream around the hairline without touching the hair. You definitely want to touch the backs of the ears because ears always get stained. Make sure that I come around the hairline, up.
She's not getting it into the hair, so she's staying off the hair, because remember, if you put this protective cream onto the hair, your color is not going to penetrate.
Here. Almost got it. Okay. So what do you do what's left over on your hand? Well, I would grab a paper towel. Or I like to have a handy dandy roll of paper towel that I didn't have to wipe my hands off with. And this will go into the trash. So now that I threw that into the trash, I'm going to sanitize my hands again. And now I'm ready to get my chemical. So, gloves. And hair color, known as shave cream.
Aniline derivative tint.
It's an aniline derivative tint. This is Tint to Darken. All right. So you'll see people who start this and go around the front, and go around and outline each section and then go through the center and put that in. I like to outline last. Either way is correct, but the reason that I like to outline last is because I don't like to drag the end of my tail of my brush through the color because I think it's messy. So I like to do it last, but I'll show you what I do here. So here's my front section. And I do start at the top.
I would say you can start at the top or the bottom.
Yeah, some people like to start at the bottom and clip it up and drop down each section. I like to start at the top. For me, I think it's faster.
Either way is
correct. Right. So I'm going to come in and take about a 1/4 of an inch section, not even a 1/4 of an inch. I don't know if you can see how thin that is. Turn it this way. Can you see how thin this is? Like you can see through this. It's best to start thin like that and keep it all the way through. It'll be faster. So I'm going to start at my scalp. Start at the scalp, and I'm just going to brush up the hair. No need to do all this little fancy stuff. Remember, that color is oxidizing in my bowl. I want to brush it up to the ends. That's another reason why I like to hold it, because my fingers are approximately 1 inch thick. If I hold the ends like this, I know I'm not touching the ends. Okay, lay that over. Now this is a little wide, so I'm gonna do this in 2 because I know that I can do this. Now some of you may have a hard time, if you've never done this before, separating the hair. So when you put your brush in to pick up the hair, slide it straight across. Make sure you're touching the scalp. Go all the way down to the scalp. Slide that brush straight across and then lift up. On the top of the brush here, where this is at, pinch that hair, pick it up and take the tail part of this brush and push it down. And that'll separate that for you. I'll do another one and show you. So, apply this up to my 1 inch, lay it over. So, right along the scalp now, put the tail, do your horizontal parting. Come in, pull it out just a little bit, like push it in at the scalp, go right along the scalp, pull it out just a little bit. On top of the brush like this, you want to grab that hair. Push that hair down, pull this hair up, and then you have your parting. Everybody got that one? Because I know sometimes people struggle getting that separated. Now when you get down here, sometimes the hair doesn't want to stay up. So it's really important when you get past that you don't smash all this other hair on top of it. You need to keep the spaces of the head open here so that you can get your hair done. Notice I hold the hair with these 2 fingers. I kind of go like this when I'm holding it at the ends. And so I'm holding this out. I'm not pushing it up and smashing it against that other hair. We need that oxygen to go through. So you want to make sure that each section does not get smashed down on top of the next one. You can lay it over. Little trick I learned a long time ago when that happens, if I feel like I'm going to smash the hair, if it won't stay up, as I come in, I put the tail in and I just sort of push down and then pull up, and it kind of makes a little bit more space in between there. Okay, so now I have this applied. I'm going to pull each section down, and as I pull it down, I'm going to look at the other side. If it looks like I need to add more to it, that's what I'm going to do. So I pull each section down as the way that I applied it. I'm looking at my other side, applying more as needed. I know shaving cream dries up and it's hard to see what you're doing, so just get in the practice of applying it or making sure that it's saturated as you bring each section down. Okay, so I did that on every section. Now I want to go back in and outline my hairline. And then I want to do the same thing here on this side of my parting.
Make sure you get that front hairline really good, especially if they have gray hair. So you're covering for gray coverage.
Okay, any questions on this? No, so you would do this section, then move to the back, right? After your time is allotted, say it's 30 to 45 minutes. So, where's that? You want to get what's known as like a tent comb or a big wide tooth comb. It is, yeah. In this case, I'm going to use a comb like this, okay? I've been processing for 30 minutes. I'm going to come back through and I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to comb this down. When I get to the ends, if I need to add more, this is where I add more. Right? Take the next couple of sections, comb those through. Big wide tooth comb. Get to the bottom. If it didn't pull all the way through when I combed it, I'm going to add more. So you do that through the whole section. If you're combing it and you're like, oh, I need to add more to it, just add it. Okay. So once you get the whole section completed, you move to the next section. So if I started here, I'm doing this one first. Then I'm moving to this one, and then I'll move to the back. Okay, that way kind of all processes at the same time, especially if it's going darker.
Remember, when you're darkening, you're doing the front sections first. When you're lightening, you start in the back. So this is darkening, so she's doing 2 front sections.
So now I'm all done. I'm ready to go back to the shampoo bowl. Lock the chair, turn the client around, go back to the shampoo bowl. What I want to do is get a little bit of shampoo on my fingers before I put any water on here. And just come in with my fingertips and just come along the hairline like this and just loosen all that up, because remember it dries, right? So we're just going to come in with our fingertips, those circles, and we're going to loosen all that. If you put water on this before you loosen this up, it like sets it.
It stains that hairline.
Extremely bad. It's, you know, like I said, if you're doing darker colors, you may get some staining. It's just part of it. But they do commercially prepare products called color remover, and that will help
remove some of it, but it will not take it all the way.
It'll take a couple days to wear off the skin. Okay, so that is a brush and a bowl application. A different type of application is a bottle application. This is usually used for runnier colors. So with the brush and the bowl, that's more for like a cream hair color with a cream developer. When you have a bottle, this is more like a liquid color with a liquid developer because it gets a little runnier. Sometimes it's easier, especially like on a touch-up, to use this. But this does get messy, so you have to be careful with holding the bottle. So
and you have to be careful because sometimes when you put your finger over it and you shake it out, you have to be prepared that it will squirts out.
Yeah.
So take your finger off slightly and just slowly take it out.
You're going to need to become a demonstrator. Show the ladies.
So you want to squeeze the air out, put your finger on it, and then shake it, let go so it doesn't spew all over you, okay? So when you go to start with this, you want to do about, you know, a 1/4 inch section again. This time, I kind of use my whole hand. I don't know if you can see how I'm holding this. Let me see if I can tilt that down.
Let me see.
There we go. I'm kind of holding my fingers here at the scalp and using my hand here because I want to take this bottle and put it right along the scalp.
Alejandro, I can see you. Can you see?
Not really.
Take my thumb and run it up the strand. If I need more now, I have my feet.
Can you switch hands?
Here, what? Hold on.
Just take it off. Just the whole thing up.
Here, fine. It's fine.
Pull it up. So bring this out.
Wait. Okay.
Lift this up. Come right along here and bring it up that way. Move your way out along the strand. Use your fingers. Run the hair up. So the brush is a little bit easier to do than this. Until you get to the
You're saying with the bottle application will be easier if you're just doing a retouch, right?
Yeah, yes, but you would have to use a liquid. You could use a cream color and a liquid developer. That would work. So if you're just doing a retouch, you're just going to hold it like this, go right along the scalp, and just brush it up like that with your thumb, and it becomes easier. But if you're doing a virgin application, you want to kind of just bring it up, and you do it the same way. Then when you're done, you go along and you just squirt it on the scalp. And
I think sometimes a virgin application with a bottle is easy on shorter hair too.
Yeah, it's hard on longer hair.
So somebody who has really short hair, they do use a bottle application.
And it's
now, does the 1 inch to the porous hair, does it apply with the bottle as well, or do you just do it all the way to the tip?
No, same application as you do with your bowl and your brush.
See how it's already running? This is why it gets messy. If that ran down in your client's face like that, that would be like, you know, so that's why we prefer the bowl, you know, unless we're doing like a bleach or something like that. Bleach retouch is good with that, but that is an alternate application. So if you do it the exact same way, it's just what you're using to apply it is different. Processing time, application technique, like from scalp to the ends, all of that all becomes the same except for like you're using a bottle instead of a bowl. But that's how you would do that. It would go around all the way around the head, right? Okay, so who has their stuff?
I have everything, like I said. It's just that I don't have a tripod, or the clamp that holds my mannequin up doesn't fit any of my tables or desks.
I don't know. I don't have an extra tripod.
I don't either.
This is the only tripod I have that works. I have one that doesn't work. You can have the one that doesn't work. Okay, so do we have any questions on this one? No? Okay. So I'm gonna turn the air off. Hold on. 80 degrees in here. No wonder it's on. Talk about virgin tint, right?
Oh, so you're gonna demonstrate next?
I'll demonstrate first and then we'll write it down.
Okay, so the next thing is Miss Connie's gonna demonstrate a virgin tint to lighten. So with lightening, we're removing the pigment from the hair. So in this, for instance, for lightening, we are gonna start in the back of the hair. You're gonna start with the application in the back sections. You're gonna apply it a ½ inch away from the scalp up to the porous end. So really, technically, you guys, you're only really doing the mid strand of the hair. Once you've completed the entire head, then you're gonna go back and you're gonna apply it to the scalp and you're gonna pull it through the ends. The reason why you do this technique is because, does anybody know from last week? You have heat on by your head. So the heat from your scalp, if you apply that product directly onto the scalp, is going to process faster, and then you can get what they call as hot roots.
So virgin darkening, you can start with the roots, right?
Yes. Darkening.
And then for
lightening
the off.
away
Yeah.
from, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all of your preparation steps are exactly the same. The only thing that differs on here is the way that you apply it. And then the processing is a little bit different. So we'll go back through the notes as soon as I get done demonstrating this, and we'll change them out for your lighting.
How do I get this to sit up?
It's smaller. Just